Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached the Champs-Élysées area. He is at the Élysée Palace to meet the French President Emmanuel Macron. The two leaders will hold very crucial talks. These images on your television screen are of the French President welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Incidentally, this is also the 75th year of India-France diplomatic ties. This is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 5th visit to France. The two, incidentally, India and France, have been strategic partners since 1998. The two share warm personal chemistry. France and India are both founding members of the International Solar Alliance, and the two leaders will be talking about the next phase of the strategic partnership between India and France. Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted a short while back to say, landed in Paris. France is one of India's strongest partners, with both nations, with our nations cooperating in diverse areas. France, of course, it's all about fighters and friendship between India and France. So there will be a conversation about Ukraine. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made it very clear there are no winners in war. He's talked about conversation, peace through dialogue. So this is the Indian diaspora. This is a short while back, the Indian diaspora outside Prime Minister Narendra Modi's hotel. Incidentally, the two are expected to talk about defense, civil, nuclear energy, economy, maritime security, counter-terrorism, again an area of very close cooperation between India and France, counter-terror operations. Energy remains a very key area of India and France cooperation. When we talk about defense, we've just been told that France has upgraded 4 of its Rafale Marines. Remember, India is to buy a large number of Rafale fighter jets. India is to buy a large number of fighter jets for the Indian Navy. And Rafale is one of the contenders. In fact, the F-18 Super Hornets and the Rafale Marines are top contenders for this deal. And these, of course, are live images of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Paris. These are images of Prime Minister Narendra Modi of a short while back when he exited his hotel to travel to the Élysée Palace, where he was received by the French President Emmanuel Macron. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the first foreign head of government that the French President is meeting after his re-election. Before leaving, the Prime Minister had said, President Macron and I share assessments on various regional and global issues and will take stock of ongoing bilateral cooperation. It is my firm belief that the two countries that share such similar vision and values for the global order must work in close cooperation with each other, unquote. The Prime Minister arrived in Paris from Copenhagen. I want to quickly cut across to India today's Anjana Om Kashyap, joining us live from Paris. Anjana, this may be the last leg. The Prime Minister may be here just for about 4 to 5 hours, but this is an extremely crucial summit between India and France. Bring us highlights of what to expect of this summit.
Discussion between both the sides. As I said, that this is a very no-chance Absolutely, Gaurav. The last leg, but the showstopper, because the chemistry between the two leaders is something that is much talked about. And apart from that, the defense deals, how, if you see the entire period between 2017 to 21, India was actually buying, after Russia, the defense deals with France were on number 2. So you can imagine the kind of defense deals that India will be looking at. We know China and our relationship with them, and at a time like this, when the entire summit is happening under the shadow of the Russia-Ukraine war, it's actually a big challenge about how India can reduce its defense dependency on Russia and take it to other nations. And then France is a huge contender for that, and I think that is something that we can expect. Something big coming out of this summit is something that we can expect today, Gaurav.
Something tangible in terms of forward movement on energy cooperation. Both India and France, founder members of the International Solar Alliance. That is one of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's key result areas, and his favorite, Paryavaran, environment, is something that the Prime Minister has been talking about very extensively in Germany, in Copenhagen, even in France. Anjana.
Absolutely. And I'll quickly, Gaurav, show you the entire place, because we're right here in front of Elysee Palace, where President Emmanuel Macron lives, and it is here that he's hosting him. India, France, Germany. I think the big thing that has come out of this entire tour, Gaurav Sawant, is that these are countries who are clearly trying to disrupt the world order as of now. They are trying to place themselves in a world which is multipolar, where power does not lie. There can't be just America and Russia and other countries. These are two very powerful countries, France and Germany, of Europe. India has come out as a strong player, as a big player, and with its independent foreign policy, I think India has actually convinced the world that you have to keep your reservations on a stand on Russia apart, and if you want a good relationship with us, we are not ready to take any kind of pressure. So I think it was also a platform or a tour which brought about India's stand and the clarity behind it, or the purpose or the reasons behind it, how it is important for the country. And I think, so two big things. If you want us to not have very good relations with Russia, then our defense dependency on them should decrease at certain levels.
Yes.
And on the other, a multipolar world where the balance of power. So I think these are the two big things that have actually come out of this tour.
Extremely pertinent you say that, Anjana, that it cannot just be a unipolar world. It's not just about either the United States of America on one end and China and Russia on the other. It's a multipolar world, and that is where Germany, France, India and countries and democracies play a very critical role. But Anjana, I want to talk for a moment about the images at the Elysee Palace, the warm hug between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the French President Emmanuel Macron, symbolic of the warm ties between India and France that actually go back decades. France was the only country that did not stop the supply of military hardware to India even after the Pokhran test. It's a time-tested strategic partnership, Anjana.
And Gaurav Sawant, France has severed its defense ties with Pakistan.
Yes.
I think the message is very clear. They, be it Prime Minister Narendra Modi or Emmanuel Macron, they talk very fondly of each other. They call each other friend, my friend Emmanuel and my friend Narendra Modi. So I think there is a certain chemistry, and you see it in the hug, and it was expected. We were talking about it in the evening. There is going to be a jhappi, and the jhappi did happen. A warm hug, an embracing of two countries that are actually, if you can say it, have a soft corner for each other. France has always been a friend which has stood by in tough and difficult times when other countries have, like you talked about the Pokhran thing. What I really want to clearly say, Gaurav, is this, that Emmanuel Macron and also any French president after election, usually the custom is that they go to Germany, meet the chancellor, like Emmanuel Macron met Angela Merkel last time. But this time, after being re-elected, the first international leader he's hosting is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Gaurav.